Albert Einstein famously said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Is this true? A funny juxtaposition happened to me recently. My teenage daughter, who is a very strong-willed, articulate, and at times opinionated young lady, was having a hard time completing a task for school. She was attempting to write a speech for a public speaking competition, the topic of which, the power of imagination. She was having trouble conveying her thoughts on paper and was struggling to adequately express exactly what imagination meant to her. It seemed to me that she was very conscious about writing the perfect speech, filled with the correct or scientific information about what imagination is. As such, her speech began with a precise definition of imagination. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, imagination is the act or power of forming a mental image of something not present to the senses. And so the speech began. She was concerned about creating an effective speech that stuck to the conventions of speech writing, was concise, to the point, and full of factual information, and just for a touch of colour, she had thrown in the odd quote or personal brief thought for good measure. Watching her and ah about constructing this speech had left me wondering, where had her imagination gone? And when had it vacated the building? At what point did facts, knowledge and rules overtake imagination and creativity? On the flip side of the coin, at the same time, very coincidentally, the 25 kindergarten children that I share my days with were also inquiring into how to express themselves through their imagination. Our unit of inquiry, how we express ourselves. When posed the question, "What is your imagination?" without hesitation, these 3- and 4-year-olds offered such ideas as, "It's when you think about something that's not real," or "It's when you think about something that's not normal." These beautiful thoughts did not stop there. Instead, we continued to discuss where they could find their imagination. "In your head," said one. "Your imagination is inside your brain. It's inside your memory." Yes. "I think your imagination comes from all over your body." These beautiful thoughts did not stop there. I found it very intriguing that each time I offered a question, an idea was offered by one of my kinder children, and it was offered with such exuberance and such confidence. It was offered with 100% certainty, as if to say to me, "You are an adult. What do you know about creativity and imagination?" And then, as if I had had the wind knocked out from beneath me, from a 3-year-old, an answer was delivered to me in no uncertain terms. Imagination is for children because it's very special. I think adults do have a little bit of it as well, but children's are bigger and better. Adults think about real things, big, real things. Needless to say, I was blown away by these responses. How are 3- and 4-year-olds so wise, so uninhibited, and so confident to share their thoughts and knowledge? They seem to be totally unperturbed by any preconceived ideas, conventions, or fear of ridicule or persecution for sharing these beautiful thoughts that seem to so naturally just flow from their minds. While trying to make the thinking visible, I invited these little thinkers to offer a graphic representation of their thoughts, and this is what I was offered. This is me, this is my imagination, it's inside my head. There is a rainbow inside my imagination. My imagination is in my feet. It makes me dance and be a ballerina. My imagination is like an extra eye in my head. It helps me to see colourful things that just pop out of my head. This is my body. My imagination is inside my brain. My imagination gives me thoughts. They come out of my head like bubbles. These are my thought bubbles. My thoughts need colour because my imagination has colour in it. It goes without saying, I was totally astounded. On the one hand, I have a 14-year-old struggling to define or find her imagination, and on the other, 3- and 4-year-olds who can succinctly explain theirs. This has left me wondering, is Sir Ken Robinson correct? Do schools kill creativity? Or is it something else? Is it the fear of ridicule as children grow up? Or the ideal of conforming to the rules of life, rules of school, of culture and society? Or is it, as was so poignantly pointed out to me, is it that as we become adults, we lose our imagination because we are just too busy thinking about real things?